So pull-ups to start off with the upper body session. So normally what I like to do is I like to put my pressing movements first, then I like to put my pulling movements or rowing movements second. And the reason behind that is I generally like to see my pushing movements be able to go to muscular failure properly before doing my rowing movements, because what I've generally seen anecdotally is when people do their rowing movements first, their pushing movements typically tend to suffer. And you know what it's like when you go to failure on a pushing movement. When you go to failure, it's done. You can't get any more out of that rep. But when you're going to failure on a rowing movement, you could potentially use momentum or a little bit of just extra drive to get that complete rep. So I always start off with my pressing movements, then I go on to my pulling movements. However, you know, based upon your goals, based upon your weaknesses, you can start off with rowing movements first in one rotation, and then in the second rotation you can start with your pushing movements. So you just rotate between the two. That's another option you can mix between. But my best advice, as always, experiment, find what works best for you. I started off with pull-ups to begin with. I'm wank at them, so hence why they are first. If I had them like 4th or 5th, I probably wouldn't get 10, no, my luck. Put them first because they're a weakness and I want to improve upon them. And this time I actually did weighted pull-ups, which was the first time in a long time. The only time I've done weighted pull-ups was when I was on prep, because as I was leaner, lighter, I could pull my body weight more for like 20 reps, so I needed weight. Now I'm building up to 15, 16 reps, so I did 10 kilos and I got 11 on my first set, 8 on my second set, then I did a third set of 8 with just my body weight. So 3 sets there. Don't do any more than that, because what you typically see when doing pull-ups is you just decline reps the more you do it, and eventually you're just going to be able to do 1 or 2 reps by the 4th or 5th set, so there's no point doing that much. Moved on to bench press after that, and now we are on the next we're going to do the OHP. Unfortunately the sun's right in my fucking face, like look, when I'm doing it, so that's not good. I'll probably kill myself now. What I see a lot of people do wrong with the OHP, especially a standing OHP, is they forget to tuck their glutes. And when you squeeze your glutes together, your bum cheeks together, you will really actually gain quite a lot of stability. It's just remembering to do that throughout the set, because what I do, what I see a lot of people do, is they start off like that, which is great, and then they untrack their glutes, and then what happens there, you know, stability is all over the place, but you can gain so much stability. So the next time you're doing a standing OHP of some sort, try tucking your glutes and just trying to keep in that position, and you'll be surprised how much stability you will have and how much you can just focus on pressing instead of worrying about your stability side of things. We're now going to move on to a narrow grip press up, which I'm going to do weighted. Again, another variation for a close grip bench press right now, otherwise I don't have a dip station at all. We're going to do a narrow grip dumbbell, narrow grip bench press, and narrow grip press up. Fucking fit cunt. In the club, I'm in the plenty. I pull up to fast and race me. I move like a race, I'll be. Still out on my old ex-drillers, still ducking out ops on my sinners. 4 6 shots with the spinners. Alright, how you gonna hate? Man just caught a thumb off of music. Still average in the court summers. Bro got the dots and average things like London. Bro just read up on the wax. You ain't got any yet like Tasman. You read luck if the bills don't pop.
You best pray to the Lord like religions. I really stay true like the branded shops. But just do.
That's that, facts, the ops ain't bad, just chat. I don't know these youths that jumped on track. This is more than rap, don't talk about dead it.
Tonight's meal plan is going to be a Chicago town pizza because we can't get anything anywhere else. Everything's closed. Can't beat it. Cannot beat it. Now I know we've got Domino's, Pizza Hut, takeaway, all that type of stuff. Papa John's. They're great, yeah, great. Expensive as fuck. But you cannot beat a Chicago town frozen pizza. I don't care what anyone says. It fills the hole. It just does the job. It just fills the stomach up. Lovely. You're settled. You're done. You go for your walk. You're content. You know. Very, very good. Sticky sweet cola barbecue. I haven't tried this one. I used to get the limited edition one they had ages ago. Back at the uni day. Oh my god. At uni, that used to be my meal plan every single week. I used to have one of those. Or I used to have 4 double cheeseburgers. No idea why I used to have them, but it filled the hole, it done the job. And I made my best ever progress, so. That's what it looks like. I didn't even realise it had mushrooms on it, believe it or not. Also, you've got to have ketchup with your pizza. I don't care what anyone says. Pizza and ketchup. Unbelievable. Let's give it a little taster. Barbecuey. Very barbecuey, but good. Ketchup barbecue go together? Not sure, but it's not the best pizza I've ever had, but it's good enough right now, obviously, with lockdown. That pizza was 1,704 calories, 232 gram of carbs, 56 fat, 64 protein. So if you're struggling to get your calories in, eat your fucking pizza. So I thought I'd come to the top of the hill and answer some questions, do a little bit of a Q&A style thing. Got the sun going down in the background there. I just hope that you can see me. My camera is not the best quality in the whole fucking entire world, but it will do. That will do, donkey. That will do. Before everyone starts, oh my god, George, you're sitting outside. What the fuck are you doing? Listen, I'm gonna be here for about 5 minutes. I'm in the middle of a fucking field. There's no one around. Just relax. George, what is your current training split? So right now, as of now, when we're in lockdown, it is a upper lower split. So it's 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. Training, it's a push, legs, rest, pull, push, rest, leg pull, rest. What's your favourite porn category to watch / wank? Good question. Big ass or anal? Is the post-workout meal being over 3 hours after I finish my session fine? Ideally, I would say that's too long, in my opinion. I would definitely look to 30 minutes to an hour is probably your best bet. An hour maybe being the max post-workout, because essentially what you're trying to do in that window is sort of replenish yourself, but the demand for food is going to be high and you're going to be able to uptake food more efficiently in the post-workout window if you create a demand from the training session. I wouldn't leave it up to 3 hours. No, I would leave it an hour max, if you possibly can. What's your one machine movement you've missed the most? Leg press for me. So Jacob, I missed the leg press as well. Not gonna lie to you, I used to love the leg press. It's my favourite movement. I was chasing down that 500 kilo leg press before this lockdown stuff happened, but unfortunately that's not gonna happen anytime soon, I don't think, which is really frustrating. I think we'll be in lockdown, like right now it is April, my birthday's next week. We will be probably in lockdown till like June, July, I reckon, something like that, which is fucking long as fuck. What motivates you to work out currently? So I don't really have an issue with working out. I mean, or motivation in general. Like, I'm just a motivated individual. Like, this is my job, this is my hobby, and I just kind of get it done, really. I don't actually suffer with any motivational problems. Like, once I'm in the gym, I'm ready to rock. What I would suggest, if you are struggling with motivation is just keep the sessions nice and intense, quick and intense, get in, get out sort of thing. You don't want to be spending 2 minutes, like, especially with these home workouts, setting up the bands, all the exercises, it's quite long. So what I would always recommend is keep the rest period short, try and get in, try and get out, and try and do the best as you possibly can with those exercises. Current intra-workout subs. So I use EAA's product. So a complete protein. I use highly branched cyclodextrin, which is a carb powder. I add in some electrolytes, and I also take my creatine within that currently. Corona is fucking up my sex life. What should I do? From Joseph. I would recommend just plenty of wanking, you know, just keep yourself occupied. Have as many wanks as you can handle in a day. For me, probably about 2 at the moment. When I was younger, used to handle fucking bare, like 6, 7 when I was about 16. No chance now. How to fix a uneven chest. So unilateral movements, I always say when it comes to weaker body parts, I would definitely put it down to probably execution. That's the first thing. If your execution is good, I would then look at, you know, are we progressive overload, you know, volume, are we in a surplus? Normally you would see a chest that's undeveloped is usually down to execution and just not giving it enough time under attention, that side of things, and connecting with it well. Uneven chest, sometimes that could be genetically, you know, sometimes I have like a little cut off on the bottom of my chest, which is just genetics really, the way your chest is built. Some people have, you're not gonna have a perfect exact same chest like your quads. One quad is very different to the other quad if you give a fine detail to it. But keep the basics. So progressive overload is going to be the king to build in muscle. Unilateral movements, so we're directly working 1 pec at a time, instead of doing like a barbell movement, something like that. And yeah, I hope that helps. Have you ever tasted your own spunk for gains? I have tasted my own spunk, but not for gains, just out of interest. Salty. Worst thing about contest prep for you? My worst thing was just not listening to the coach and doing more when I needed to not do more. That's it. That's a lot of us get guilty of doing that. Like we think more is better. Like, oh my god, if I'm gonna do more, that means I'm gonna lose weight, that means I'm gonna be leaner. That is true to a certain degree. A lot of us do that too often and we're just regressing and going backwards, and especially when you're contest prep lean, doing more is not better. Doing less is actually gonna be better for your physique. The hardest thing I learned in prep was doing more when I shouldn't have done more, because it really did bite me on the arse. Any book / podcast recommendations on nutrition, training and anatomy? So I would actually read Dr. Scott Stevens' training book, I believe it is. I don't often read books, not going to lie to you. I'm more of a podcast fan, so especially for natural bodybuilding, you can look at 3DMJ, you can look at the Natty Scene with AJ Morris. I'm on there as well sometimes if you're interested in that, or we just discuss some good things. I've got a load of my contest prep things on there for you to listen to, and AJ's got loads of his contest prep things on there. Ben Bukolski, I like listening to. Ben Bukolski's a very good one. He speaks very well about, you know, your mental health, your, you know, training for a purpose, that type of stuff. There are so many off the top of my head. The Muscle Mentors, I like listening to that. OBD podcast, Joe Jeffries one, very, very good. So those are a few which I would list. So you might have to go back and listen to what I just said then, because I did ramble. What's your rate right now, and how much have you lost since closing down gym? So I haven't actually lost anything. I've kind of fluctuated between 1 or 2 pounds. Right now I'm pretty much maintaining throughout this phase, because I don't actually believe me being in a surplus is going to provide too much of a benefit, because I don't have enough tools to create that stimulus to grow muscle. So I think for most it would probably be best to stay at maintenance, or if you do have a kitted out gym and you can obviously create a really good novel stimulus, then I would probably still remain in a slight surplus for many people. As the whole lockdown thing and training from home postponing the gear usage, yes, 100%. Like I would never ever take gear right now whilst being at home. That would be absolutely stupid. So I'm quite fortunate that this has happened before any of that, so it just gives me a little bit of time to diet back down when I do diet, and then obviously take that step forward when I will take that step forward. But eventually I will be heading down that route at some point, maybe at the end of this year. Anyway, I hope everyone's okay, and the sun's gone down now, which is fucking quick. Mad.